If someone told you that you had 10 years left, what would you do? What decisions would you make? What legacies would you want to pass on to your kids? What paperwork would you want to take care of? It may be your estate plan, it may be your will. It may be pouring into the lives of people that are going to pour into your kids' lives. Welcome to the MoneyFitMD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of MoneyFitMD. We want to change the narrative where women physicians use. My job is to let you know that's going to. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy things. The gift of dying. The gift of death. What does that even mean? How can death be a gift? How can dying be a gift? How can the thought of dying be a gift? I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm a GI doctor. I'm a mama of 3 little ladies, founder of MoneyFitMD, which is a platform that is 100% committed to helping women physicians live life and practice medicine on their terms. And I can now officially say the author of 2 books, Down with Broke and The Power to Choose. I'm so excited that we get to hang out together on here. You know, this is an episode that I'm recording close to my birthday. So I just turned 41 this month. And yet you can say, happy birthday, Latifat. I cannot hear you, but I can read your mind from wherever I am. No, I'm just joking. But every time around my birthday, people ask me things like, oh, what are you going to do? How are you going to celebrate? And I'm all for celebrating. I love celebrating the power moments. But one of the biggest gifts that I give myself around my birthday is the ability to reflect. What do I mean by that? The gift of death. You know, one of the things that I've noticed when I'm looking online, I'm reading Facebook groups, is there seems to be a dichotomy of people. People that are like, YOLO, we only live once, we're going to do everything and forget about our future. And there's going to be a second group of people that are like, cut everything by the penny. You have to cut every expense. Like, why would you buy that, right? And I truly believe that the answer and the right solution is in the middle somewhere. And in fact, I was reading a Facebook post recently, and this person said, I love to travel. I want to travel. Has anybody ever just made the decision to forget their retirement, forget their future, and just live life because we only live once anyway? Well, my answer to that post was, I hear you. I'm a huge fan of living life on your terms and living life well. But I also have met many people that towards the end of their life, towards the end of their career, realized that they did not have anything, right? And you don't want to be on one extreme end of the platform. But the question now is, how can you become a person that is able to live life well without sacrificing your present in a way that's meaningful, but also without sacrificing your future in a way that's meaningful? And for me, what has helped me and what I think will help you is the awareness of death. So many people know that I'm a GI doctor, but what many people don't know about me is that I actually considered getting a fellowship training in palliative care or hospice, like palliative care mostly. And the reason why is because I believe in palliation of symptoms. I believe that, as physicians, one of the things we've lost sight of is that our goal is not only to keep people alive, but to let them feel better. And that's palliation. So as a GI doctor, as a primary care doctor, as a cardiologist, as all of that stuff, our goal is we want to help people be well, but we also want to help people feel better, right? It's not by giving them a bunch of opioids or things that will hurt them, but it's by not ignoring the things that's actually going to get them feeling better. Because even if you heal people and they don't feel better, you're like, but I saved your life. And they're like, but I feel like crap. I saved your life. I feel like crap. Reminds me of that movie, The Incredibles, where one of the superheroes was being sued because he saved someone's life. And the person was like, why did you not let me die peacefully the way I wanted to die? I was like, but I saved your life. Anyway, sorry, allergies are kicking my butt this year, y'all. Like, kicking my behind. But the good part, well, the silver lining, another good part, is that my garden is doing great this year. The fruits are blooming, and I'm looking forward to stuffing my face with a bunch of hopefully delicious oranges and pear and nectarine and lemons and
What else we got? Tangerine and grapes, because I cannot be doing all the sniffles with the allergy without any upside to it. So there's at least an upside. So it's worth it because I know that the garden looks good this year. And my bitter leaf also looks good. If you don't know what bitter leaf is, go Google it. It is bitter. It is bitter. Anyway, the thing though is this: we're here for a finite amount of time. The hope, the goal, the belief is that it will be a long time. But none of us really know when we are going to be alive for. I have family members that have died in their 90s. I have family members that are alive in their 90s, but I also have family members that have died in their 40s. So there is a wisdom that life and death can actually have for us. As someone that's a Christian that believes in eternal life, that is the number one priority, in my opinion. But even when we talk about life on here, I don't believe that we're here just to be here. I don't believe that we're here just to be a number. I believe that we're here to be part of making the next generation better. I am here and you're here to make life different because you existed. You're here, if you're a mom, if you're a parent, you're here to impact the next generation. If you're a doctor, you're here to be a part of helping change the story of your patients' lives. So when I think about what we do as physicians, we do things like decrease colon cancer. What we're doing is we're changing generational trees. When I take out a polyp, I'm not just taking out a polyp, I'm preventing someone's daughter from writing family history of colon cancer on their medical records. If you're an oncologist and you're helping people extend their lives, you are changing stories where someone's niece can say, my uncle was there for my wedding because an oncologist worked with them to help prolong their life. If you're someone that's a cardiologist, you're helping a trainer, you're helping a coach children that will now say that my coach changed my life. And you are the reason or part of the reason why that story happened. So our jobs here is intertwined and not just a cute source of income only. My job as a physician, especially as someone that does per diem now, is when I'm going out, I'm like, what? I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. Yes, I'll still meet annoying humans, right? That's not gonna happen because we're mission minded and impact minded. But when you start to think about the fact that your time on this earth is it's finite, which means that it is my job to make sure that the things that are meant to exist in this world through me are done. So one of my friends was like, Latifat, you wrote your first book, you wrote your second book, you're a mom, you're married, you got 3 kids, you have multiple businesses. How do you do it all? And the truth is, I don't do it all at one time. Doing it all is something that is a cumulative effect of simple actions that you have done by focusing in seasons and seasons and seasons. So, like when I'm 80, God willing, you can now look back on my life and say, Latifah, I did it all, but I did not do it all at one moment, right? But part of that is understanding like there are things that are meant to get out through me into the world. So, because of that, I make sure that I get the help and support that I need. I decrease my procrastination. I get the mentorship that I need. I get the coaching that I need so that instead of letting it take 20 years for me to accomplish something, it can take me 3 years. And that way, when I now look back at my life journey, I'm able to accomplish so much more because I understand that money is not something for me to hoard, but money is a tool to be able to help me create the life that I'm meant to create in as much or long, hopefully, time that I have to be here on earth for. So I'll give you an example. Many of you guys know that I invest in real estate. And when I started investing in real estate, I took a course that helps me learn how to invest in real estate. I did not need a course. I could have gone online and Googled from kingdom come till kingdom pass and all of that. And it could have taken me maybe 10 years. Or as a busy woman physician, it would have taken me longer to get started in real estate. But I understand that time is an asset. Time is the most valuable thing. And I understand that time is more valuable than money. So what that means is not that I ignore my money, is that I go quickly and create the money so that I can now have the currency to create more time. So what that meant is because I'd learned how to do my finances, how to create a spending plan, how to invest, how to make my money work for me, all of that. I've learned how to have a good relationship with money where my joy is not dependent on my amount of money that I have or do not have. So I've learned how to separate myself from my money so that I could do my money. And I want to make sure I'm clear about that, because the mistake people make is they think that doing money means ignoring your money. No, doing money or having a good relationship with money and separating yourself from money does not mean you create a wedge with money. It means that you stay intimate with your money, but you don't let your joy, your attitude be dependent or reliant on how much money you have or not have. Because what that means then is you're able to let your money grow for you. You're able to let your money work for you. So because I understood that, I was now able to let my money work for me by taking that money and paying for a course that cost me thousands of dollars. But because of that, I was able to now invest within 6 months or so, less than 6 months actually, for something that would have taken me a longer amount of time. And because I was able to do that, and within a 3 year or 2.5 year period, we bought enough real estate that actually helped our net worth significantly so that I could not be dependent on my pension. I did not have to be dependent on my clinical income to grow my net worth. And what that meant was I could take a year off and not worry about my net worth growth, or without having to worry about my brain saying, oh, you're going to be behind if you take a year off, because we'll get to define that anyway. I hope that is making sense for you. So those are the reasons why, when you understand the finiteness of life, you understand that your time has value, you now start to do your money so that you can now have the currency, because that's what money is. It's a currency that helps you buy time, right? So for another example of that is, we do real estate. We have long-term rentals, we have short-term rental, we've done medium-term rental in the past as well. And one of our properties, we wanted to turn it over. We wanted to rehab it so that we can increase our occupancy rate by doing better marketing because of the pictures and all of that stuff. We wanted to make it a better experience for family members, for family that are members that are renting the property, so that they can create memories and just have great memories of staying at our place, right? Again, that's part of how you build wealth intentionally, is we're creating memories. We're not just creating a building that's going to make money. We're creating memories. We're creating an oasis. We're creating space and time for people to have the ability to be able to relax and build and refresh themselves, right? So as part of doing that, was wanted to recreate certain things. And so we looked at the numbers. Again, you don't ignore the numbers. We looked at the numbers and we decided how much we wanted to invest in a way to be able to give us the ROI. And as part of that, was that we hired someone to do the work with us. We did not want to completely delegate that, because it would have costed maybe 3 times more. And we're like, we don't want to do that, so we don't put the stress on this property, right? Financial stress on this property, because I believe that every building every baby is what I call it, has to be self-sufficient at some point. And so we hired someone, but I worked with them. So I paid them in order to be able to use my time better. We worked on it together, but if I did it alone, it would have taken me a longer amount of time and I would have pulled my hair out probably, right? So again, this goes back to your relationship with money, leveraging money so that you can build time, but it's not one or the other. It's a matter of both. And again, that consciousness of time, that consciousness of how we are here for a finite amount of time, means I don't have time to waste and not do my money, but also means that I don't have time to waste and not doing the things that I want to do. It means that I need to create all the assets that I'm meant to create in this world, right? Because a book is an asset. Books are things that my kids will read. Books are things that physicians will read. I have podcasts that I listen to right now by our people that are dead, right? And they've left a legacy through which the world can be a better place, even when they're not there. There's some of those podcasts that literally have millions of views every year, and the people that created them are long gone, right? That is legacy. So my job here is to impact as many lives, one-on-one through clinical, one-on-one through my family, through my clients, through my members, but also in batches through the content that we're creating, through this video, through this audio, through the books, right? that is how I live my life. But I also know that I have to do it with wisdom. You don't want to do it in a way that grinds you to pieces. You don't want to do it in a way that burns you out. You want to do it in a way that is healthy, right? An example of that is we take lessons from the heart. The heart, what does it do? It perfuses every part of the body, but it has to perfuse itself. When does it perfuse itself? During diastole, right? So my understanding of death does not mean that I want to extradite death by not resting, by not perfusing, because that's what will happen if the heart doesn't perfuse itself, is that it cannot perfuse anybody else, which will lead to death physically or death emotionally, death of the soul, right? So I hope this is helping and making sense. Another thing to keep in mind is, there are many people that when they get a diagnosis, that really makes them confront the amount of time they have or not have. It makes them ask the questions of like, what is actually important here? How do I want to live my life? If I had 5 years to live, how would I spend it? And I ask myself that question, even though I have, by God's grace, many more years and decades and decades and decades to live, but it helps create the urgency of my life. And I hope that you're doing something similar to that, because if you did, you would not waste time living someone else's dreams. You will not live life just like barely surviving and snoozing the button of your life. Because at the end of the day, financial liberation, living life on our terms, is not just living life the way that someone else has written it. It's living life on terms that is not just you in a way that is self only, because self is actually small, but it's in a way that is like through you to others, through them, through others. Right? So a life well lived, in my opinion, is a life that touches more lives than just mine. What we have been taught, especially as first generation world builders in the past, is that we're taught to sacrifice ourselves for the greater good and ignore ourselves. But I don't believe in that. But there's also now an extreme where it's like you, and you alone, ignore everybody else. It doesn't matter what anybody else know. In my opinion, I believe that the juice is somewhere in between, where we get to serve the greater good, but we understand that it is through us. So we have to take care of us first so that then we can take care of all those other people. Does that make sense? So my question for you is this. If someone told you that you had 10 years left, what would you do? What decisions would you make? What legacies would you want to pass on to your kids? What assets would you want to have on this earth? Would you want to create in this earth? What paperwork would you want to take care of? It may be your estate plan, it may be your will, it may be your impacting more people. It may be pouring into the lives of people that are going to pour into your kids' lives. That was my experience. There were people that poured into my lives that are no longer here. But because they poured into my life, I get to be a person that can pour into their own family's lives as well. So that's my question for you. And that's what the power to choose is about. That's what our newest book, The Power to Choose, is about. If you haven't read it yet, you absolutely have to leave it. You absolutely have to read it. You absolutely have to take actions. Because at the end of the day, living life on your terms may be the best gift that you can live in this world. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm on a mission to help women physicians live the rich, wealthy life. And when I say rich, wealthy life, I mean this in the most abundant way possible. That's why I'm here. I'm here to impact lives so that you can impact lives and they can impact lives. And that is the only way that we can change the world, one person at a time, one book at a time. So if you have read our book, whether it's Done with Broke or The Power to Choose or both, I would love to hear from you. If you can just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or you can leave a comment on here, whether you listen on YouTube or on the podcast. But also, if you can leave a review on Amazon for both books, I would really, really appreciate it. And from the very bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you so much for existing. Thank you for existing more abundantly than most people would choose to exist. Thank you for taking the baton of the life that you've been given and saying, yes, I will live my best life in the most abundant way possible. Yes, it will feel scary sometimes. That's why you need a community. That's what the money school is about. And if you're someone that wants to learn how we can support you, what your yes life is, you're like, I am ready, Latifah, to live life on my terms.
I'm ready to go all in. All you have to do is go to moneyfitmd.com/call, CALL, and you can schedule a call to see how the money school may be the right community to help you live life on your terms. Thank you. God bless. And I appreciate you so much. Goodbye.